Good afternoon and welcome to another edition of African Americans Ain't Africans, the talk, think show that proves without a shadow of a doubt that the so-called African American didn't find his way to America in the trunk of a ship. I'm your host, the Indigenous One. And today we're going to take a look at energy and all the bullshit that eats up your time. And I want to share the energy portion of this because right now we're going into the new year. And so this is what I always mean. What I always mean when I suggest that indigenous people, you have to come up with your own way of looking at time. You're going to have to come up with your own. Where's your calendar? See, when you ask the African American, where's his calendar? Brother, huh? You come up with that dumb shit. Where's your calendar? Why do you use the calendar of other people to record the phenomena that you do on a daily basis? You use somebody else's, you don't even have your own calendar, but want to stand up and talk shit like you do. You look stupid doing that. That's what I mean, energy. I want everybody just to understand how much the world eats off of us on energy, because we're going to explain energy today in a way like you probably never heard it before, but you can relate. Make everything you do simple. Make everything you do simple. Simpler than wiping your ass. Seriously. Make everything you do simple, not hard to figure out. Because the majority of people, they listen and you know everything that's going on to make the people unaware of what's happening right in front of their eyes is being done, especially to the indigenous people of America. And once again, when I say indigenous people, I mean the people who were born of America. All continents have all kind of different animals, different foods, different minerals, different people. The people that were produced by America are what you see walking around the city now is Negroes, black people, niggas, coon, all that. Those who are indigenous people are. Those people must be made dumb. I mean, seriously, they would. It's funny with the homeless people. I'm not that type of person who's like, oh, yeah, I know the government. I mean, I know the homeless thing is bad, but what I'm saying with brothers is, listen, we have to be more intelligent, more creative, more innovative in the way we do things. We just think the way that these people do it is the way that we should do anything, and it's not. And so a lot of times we suffer because we don't use the power we have within us. We give our energy away. We got some of us literally have vampires on our backs, sucking the energy out of us big time. And we're going to give some examples of that. You're going to be like, damn, because we look at the way we look at things, and this is one of the reasons we don't have a calendar, because we look at things in the way other people tell us to look at them. That's a source of all the confusion that we have. We don't look at them how we see them. We'll look at them the way they are, and to impress somebody else, we'll change our mind, won't we? Yeah, that's how we roll. That's how we get out. We want to be a part of the in crowd instead of being part of the right crowd. And you always do the right thing. I mean, do the right thing all the time. You wouldn't want nobody jumping up and down, kicking your mama on the streets. You wouldn't want nobody jumping up and down, beating your sister down in the street. Why would you do it? No, and answer the question. We won't even pose questions like that to our children. If you pose a question like that to an African American child, their mother would try to sue you. That's how backward we've gotten. Anything you ask, seriously, because I do it. Anything, a simple thing, you ask a child, a 15-year-old, a question. The parents know that they haven't equipped the child for that simple ass question, and they'll shoo you off. We're making our children dumb because we're dumb. And the only way you cannot be dumb is to say, you know what, I'm not doing this shit no more. Stop being dumb. Start using some common sense. Start using everything around you. You got vast resources at your fingertips. You have yourself, one. Why you think all these foreigners come over here? To eat off of you. And you like, yeah, okay, we are the world. We are that's our attitude on with everybody in the world except ourselves. So I just want to share a couple of things with you. This energy transference, so you can see how it's done. And when you see how it's done, you'd be like, okay, you can see how your energy is given away. And I want to give you some examples of energy. One of the things that we're going to have to do, we're going to have to start listening for the seasons change and all the things that are going on. So like now we're going into New Year. You're going into New Year. Everything is raining now. The last of that, the rain in the city with all the trees. Go to the southeast in the beginning of spring. It is lit up like a Christmas tree. Why? Because it's raining and everything is new. Everything is brand new. Everything's been dormant. Snow is cold. It ain't warm. You got to put on all these clothes. Now, some people like that. But most people, my people, and the people I know, they like it when it's springtime, summertime, hot fun in the summertime. So when this time is coming, and it's coming up, Atlanta, the weekend of the 4th, April 4th, the No Don't Hate Grandma tour, Phoenix Moon. It's on and popping, y'all. It's on and popping. Springtime. Anew. One of the things you want to do now, and if you really want to see that seriously, the energy you have in you, springtime is the time for what? Cleaning. Because everything is new. You want your surroundings to be fresh. And when I say surroundings, your body is your surrounding. Your body is your surroundings. First and foremost. Before your mama, before your wife, before your kids, your body is surrounding. Because you aren't your body. I know you think you are. You're not. So you want to clean out the surroundings around you. And that's starting with your body. You can't be carrying Thanksgiving turkey in your gut. Because some of us do. You can't be carrying that Christmas pie. It can't be in your colon. You gotta be clean. You gotta clean all that shit out. And now is the perfect time to do it. One of the things, and there's all kind of ways you can clean out your body. I know some, you know some, she knows some. I say use them all. Best liver cleaner, best colon cleaner, best clean your lungs, clean your body, clean your surroundings. Make it easier to breathe on yourself. Get rid of the mucus. I would suggest, I just had one, and these are cool, colonics. Seriously, get as much, clean as much. This is springtime. You want everything to be new. You want your thoughts to be new. You want your actions to be new and fresh so you can manipulate them the way you want to. Clean your surroundings. Your surroundings is yourself, your body, because your body surrounds you, which is in your body, and you're not a physical person. You're not. Springtime, clean your body. Um, Now everything is going to start growing new, and so with this new year, I don't know how we would do it because a lot of us are still with the phenomenon that people, African American, Black, Negro, color, they're the really the history of the world when you really look at it. A rich and diverse history. So we're going to have to come up with a way on how we start documenting our time ourselves instead of other people writing and getting the credit and knowing more about your history than you do. We're going to have to do that. We're going to have our own libraries. And we have the people to do it, but nobody want to do anything. And one of the first people I would nominate for the job that we can start doing it are the civil rights people who are sitting down now, who just been sitting down for the past 50 years, not really doing anything, but teaching how to give our financial power away. I would seriously hit them up. And so this is what I mean about looking at time. The new year is right around the corner, y'all. What you gonna do? I would suggest that everybody clean their body, a spring clean. You can do anything you can do, anything for that body. Get uh, all those preservatives and whatever they put on this stuff that they call food that we're ingesting. That's another production. Why aren't we producing our own food? I mean, seriously, why aren't we using the resources around us? What our ancestors did. Why aren't we using the rabbits? Do you realize that rabbit coming from North America going to all these places, especially with this coronavirus doing? Could you imagine what we could be doing with the resources right at our fingertips? I mean, seriously. These are the indigenous people of this land. Could you imagine the medicines from the resources here in America that we could be making and shipping all over? Huh? Yeah, I find it amazing that we rather argue and fuss over dumb shit when all this is at our fingertips. That's one of the things that pisses me off about the Negro. Are you serious? You have that in your backyard. They have places where you live that are full of we just won't use them. We rather fuss and fight over dumb shit. You have resources at your fingertips, especially in the Southeast. And you have all these Negroes living in all these cities that are sitting down retiring, and they're all that money is going to go right back into the system instead of building up places where they come from. Their mothers and fathers come from. You can set up a whole new way of living if you just went back to the places where your people are from, where they had to flee their homes. Pristine land that you walked away from, and the city hasn't been popping since you left. Why aren't the people? I mean, because we have all this education. We're so educated. Why aren't the people? Why aren't indigenous people seeing what's going on in these cities now? It's being gentrified. Why aren't these guys going to those towns and pimping those towns out and making it a nice, cool, safe place for people to live? Why aren't we doing that? You the black man, you the first man on the planet. Why aren't we doing that? Why are we out scamming, advertising other people's shoes, cooning? fighting on TV, making reality. Why aren't we doing the things we seriously? Why aren't we doing that? Why isn't that talked about? Why is dumb shit always talked about? I'm talking about on all the major radio shows. Anybody who's 50 years old can tell you the devolvement of the music, the arts. What do the arts do? What does art do? Art paints a picture for you. You see it, you give it back to the world. That's energy transference. That's how simple it is. It used to be done in the black community. They were called black at this time. If you study the history of the black people in America, you'll find in the 1970s their music was best in the world, outsold anything on the planet, everywhere in the world. I mean, artists that people wouldn't know now that were major over here was putting out music that was off the hook in this hemisphere of the world. That music has devolved into shit. Come on, you know. Now, are there brothers out and sisters out there who are mastering those instruments? Yeah, I think that chick Lizzo is bad with that violin. But what is passed off as music that is given to our children is criminal, and we haven't said nothing about it. As a matter of fact, we bounce our head to it. The music isn't fit. I don't for anything living. This is the energy transference. What messages are those music sending us? And what are we putting back out in the world? Here's a way that you can look at energy. If you've ever drove down a street on a hot day, if you look ahead, what, a mile down the road, the picture doesn't look like it looks where you are. It looks like you're entering a whole new world. It looks wavy, underwater. It has a different look to it. But when you get there, it's just how you see. It's how you see it. It really is. Before you get there to where you are, what you see in front of you, that's the energy transference from the sun. It's making it look different. It's kind of like if you're going from what's that gamma, uh, the rays of not the rays of the sun, but it's a look with what the human eye can't see. I forget what it's called, but you know what it is. You can't see certain things, that you can't see certain phenomena. There's certain things that's going on that you can't see. You can't see the oxygen that you breathe. That's energy. There's the spectrum, the light spectrum. That's what I'm looking for. The light spectrum. The light spectrum, there's certain things that you can't see, and that view that you get when you're down the road in a hot sunny day, that's changing. It's not completely there yet because you can still see it. It doesn't look how it looks if you up close to it. It doesn't look solid. It doesn't look solid at all. So the light spectrum is changing. It hasn't really reached it, but the light spectrum is infinite. And it's energy. Light is energy. The sun, that's energy. Is shooting energy down to us. One of the best examples of that I can give you in the physical world that you can see is if you look at those old Egyptians. The sun rays has hands on them, giving the people life. I mean, that's the simplest way. That's a simple way to express an idea. The sun is giving you life. How come over here in America we On our heads, we wear baseball caps, we wear weaves, we smash that down. We make sure that gets no life. And now this is the part that really fucks us up. And we cool with it. If you tell a person, hey, your brain is up under there. Your brain needs as much sunlight and oxygen as possible. Why are you covering up? Fuck you, nigga. I can do that. That's where that's. Can I get a witness? So this is how you kill out a people. We're back to the energy transference. So you see that. So you see that though that sunlight when you're driving down the road and you can see ahead of yourself, you see that energy transference. Energy is when you take a breath and you blow it out. That's energy. Energy is when you sitting down and somebody walks past you, and right after they walk past you, you feel a little wind. That's energy. They got places in the country where they got windmills. I mean, they are huge, the size of buildings, windmill. Why? To collect energy. They're building sun cities all over the world to what? Collect the energy of the sun to what? Use for energy. Energy transference. You can also get your energy from people. One of the main group of people who people get their energy from is who? The Americans, the Americans, the rich soul people. You, you, everybody, the world gets their energy from you. Everybody. And what is the African Americans? How do they look at that? If you take the people that you call African American, how do they look at the rest of the world coming over here, pimping them like they do? How are they cool with it? How are they proud that they're able to do that? And then if a sister's out trying to sell cookies in the street, she thinks she's better than everybody. Explain, why does the African American think like that? Because all the energy has been sucked out of them. They don't even think. All the energy has been sucked out of them. They don't even. The average African American has more things in their house created by other people than they created themselves. Can I get amen? Right? The African Americans don't build anything. They have more stuff made in China in their homes than they have made from themselves. And they were the bad as furniture makers, bad as house makers. If they just went back 2, 3 generations in their family, they'll see that they wasn't playing around. That's how they were cut off from that too, by the way. Your average African American today doesn't know anything about they don't have a history because they were just created in 1988. See, this is how you get rid of people. You keep changing their place in the world. In 1970, there were no African Americans. So who do they connect to? They connect to nobody. They're giving us a simple, well, those people aren't you. We don't even get it. Why? Because we don't identify ourselves. We don't write down what we do. We don't teach each other. We don't, and this is the crazy part. We don't even support those that do. We don't even support those that do. So beware of look out for the African Americans because they're being sent down a road that they won't be able to recover from. And this is how their energy is being taken. So everything I told you about how energy is transferred, when you look at, if you're driving down the road and you can see a mile ahead of you and you see what's in front of you, it look like it's underwater. That's just energy. That's energy. You put energy out when your heart beat. Your heart, you putting energy out. It has to be made. The people and indigenous people of this land have to be made totally unaware of themselves so other people can come in and eat off of them. That's all. That's all. You have to be, we're coming up on springtime. You have to be totally out of your mind to go to an Asian shop and you see all the, I mean Asians, they bite the bats, they bite the heads off of bats. They don't eat what you eat over here. It's a different place. They don't have the same animals that you have. You don't have pandas over here. You don't have giraffes over here. You don't have kangaroos over here. Different land masses produce different species of animals. Everybody knows that. Thank you, Rainstorm. I appreciate you, brother. Come on. People are bringing their foods with them. And who's the first one in line when they open their stores? The African American, right? Exactly. So one of the things that we have to stop doing is playing like we don't see that. Let me get this part about energy out the way. Mirage. That's what. Thank you for reminding me about that, Jermaine. Mirage. You see mirage. You see how it looks murky and underwater. That's an energy transference, but you put the energy out also, and other people just come eat it up like it's cookies. Seriously, because they don't look at you like you would look at yourself. First of all, you don't look at yourself any kind of way. You look at yourself the way somebody tells you to look at yourself. That's how the African American does it. The African American, he's not his own doing. Somebody created them. You got to get that. If you miss that, you're going to miss up. You're looking at it wrong. And it's not saying to put nobody down or to talk about nobody. So all for y'all who cry for that shit, that ain't what it is. The African American was created. The African American and black people have two different ways of looking at things. The African American and colored people don't see things. The African American and the American don't see things the same way. The African American and the Amerindian don't see things the same way. Okay, they were created. They were grafted from the earth. That's what the African American is. He was grafted. He was taken away from the earth. They don't know how to grow anything. So this is what I mean. This is what is very important. We have to get. You're being grafted away from the earth. Bad as earth people, you go around America, you seriously. That's why many of us stay in the cities and stuff. You got places here that will blow your mind. Other people use them to make money off of in your mountains, on your lakes and rivers, in your Grand Canyons. You don't have no control of that. You let foreigners come in and take control of it. But you can't go to England and take control of anything. Those are who African Americans are, right? They're, lazy-minded people won't even think. Won't if you suggest that they think, fuck you, nigga, I ain't gotta think, right? Right? Energy transference, when people come over and ride your back and suck every ounce of energy that you put out, it's even better for them if they get you to do it for free. It's better for them if they don't even have to ask. You just give it up freely. I mean, proudly. Think about what the African American go buys $1,000 whatever suit. But the African American doesn't have an industry that produces suits. Why is that? And why is that never talked about? We always talk about all these millionaires and all these people that have money. Why isn't an industry where African Americans make their own clothes? Why is the African American wears other people's stuff? That's how you know what an African American is. They don't really produce anything. You go back 4 generations, sisters was making dresses off the hook out of nothing. Out of bags with flour came in and rice came in. Sister was making dresses out of that would put somebody to shame. And if you go back a couple of generations before that, the hand things that Sister was making, because that's when they still had control of their cotton industry, they were making dresses that would blow you away. Well, how come everything we wear is from China now? How come the African American gets his stuff made somewhere else? They were grafted away from their people. They were grafted away from the land. I hope you understand this. If this is something that we don't look at, we don't talk about, we don't discuss, we don't bring. Our head hurts if this type of information is brought up. We don't feel right. My stomach hurt, my nose running. We don't talk about that. And you talk about your people need something to do, that would create a whole nother industry. Just clothes making over here. We don't even think about it. You don't even have your black colleges producing people to say, hey, we got to do this. You got all these churches, all these black colleges, all these NAACP, Urban League organizations that don't do nothing but suck your money up because you give it to them. You give it to them proudly. I know Negroes that can go give $1,000 to a church proudly with his chest out and won't support nothing that somebody in the community is doing. That's the African American. Right or wrong. So the energy transference has been going so good now that we just freely give it away. People don't have to even try to come and coerce or trick us out of it. We just give it away. We just give it away. Do not, this is a suggestion. You can do whatever you want to, but this is just a suggestion. Don't go down that road. There's something waiting at the end of the road for those people. I would suggest that you, whatever area you're in, find out what's a native plant to where you live. Just find a native plant, something that can be useful, and bring it down to the No Grandma Killers tour so you can share it. We have I'm going to be bringing some black walnuts. There's all kind of resources around you. I mean, rabbit. How come we're not eating rabbit? Why are we so stuck on chicken, seeing that we dropping like flies? Why don't you eat some of the resources that was available to your people? You have rabbit, squirrel, deer. If you tell us about that, we'll make our face look like a balled up fist. Ugh. Huh? The resources that are around us, the world would pay you top dollar for. We're so organized, we can't even organize ourselves together to get the resources that fall on the ground. That's the African American. So you can see why their energy they have to be made dumb so their energy can be used by everybody. Because everybody uses it. They give it away. They don't use it, do they? And that's how the world sees it. Japan, the country of Japan, has no natural resources. It's a rock. But they trick you out of yours and you proud of it. See, that's the thing. Normally people fight for, nah, you ain't using me like this. Uh-uh. I mean, we'll die for that. You're not coming over using me. The African American, he gives it up like and asks you what's wrong with you. And that's done because remember when I said whatever you do comes back to you. That's the message the moon is giving us. But I know we don't pay attention to it. We're not into that. The moon disappears and it comes back every month. It's telling you something. We don't even look at it. We don't teach our kids. No, we don't have telescope. We're not into that. The African American is not into that. They're not Earth people. They're basically drones that were created for a particular purpose. And if you want to see what that purpose is, there's a place in Georgia that has something called the Georgia Guidestones. I would suggest the Georgia Guidestones. You be aware of that because we never hear, I didn't know, huh? And this thing's been there for years. We have to start having information and sharing information that you can prove right on the. Don't tell me what somebody else said. That doesn't help. Okay, we have been tricked too long, and we've had people in our communities try to come true. I mean, people look like us, and see that's where we go. And that's why I say you don't want to be near that because what they put out is coming back to them. So you don't want to be, what they do. You don't want to be around with what they do. You know, those people in the Black Panthers, because people always ask me, well, why? Well, why all the people in the Black Panthers? They were kids who got killed. They were the sacrifices for those who were going on to office to be professors at the colleges and stuff. You have to know what these people are. The Black Panther Party, that was a CIA setup from the front. Anybody who can see it, a 5-year-old can figure it out. But we get so emotionally attached to people and images and pictures and blah blah blah. We can't even figure it out. How was the Black Panther Party a CIA front? Who are the Black Panthers? Just who are you? That's all you have to do is ask yourself, well, who were they? Who were the Black Panthers? Where'd they come from? Where did they start? How did they grow? How did they grow and then die out? You have to ask yourself those questions and you have to search what happened. Take you 15 minutes to find out. If that. And we get into these groups and we fall in love for 30 years. And those group was there from the jump to pimp you, which they did. So why did all the young people in the Black Panther Party die? If any of you, Mark Clark and uh, uh, Jackson, what's the brother they broke in and killed in Chicago? The young brothers in California that were killed. Why were these people killed? So the people who were leading the Black Panther Party, they would have places they would have to sacrifice so they can get to where they were now. Because what person start out against the government and end up joining what they were fighting against, and what they were fighting against have gotten worse. These are questions we gotta ask. You wouldn't train your son or daughter to do that, would you? So no, the Black Panther Party was a CIA front from the beginning, and you can tell because Richard Okoye was number three in charge. An Asian man was number three in charge. You can't go to an Asian company and be number three in charge. They won't let you. That's not their custom. Their custom is they're going to do it. But that's the beginning of we let anybody come in and do anything. We are the world. We are the children. We everybody else has a strict code. If you go into the Russian hierarchy, I bet those first 1,000 people who running that is Russian. This white suprematic organization thing, those first 1,000 people at least are white supremacists. The African American, the first 997 are white or some other, and the next three are probably black people. We let anybody do anything for money, right? So this is why you see the so-called black, and that was the beginning. That was phasing you out of existence too when they moved you to that category called black, because black means what? Dead. Black means no movement. You've got to break down what these words mean. Original name, one of the original terms for black was blah, because you don't identify yourself. Other people can come identify you. They can name you whatever you want to, and they will take you say you try to take that name and you can use it any way you want to. No, you're using it the way it was designed for, because you didn't produce it. See, that's what I mean by arrogance. Other people do things and we pick up what they do, and then we're arrogant because we got what they got. That's not how it's done, cuz. What did you do? Why is your history wrapped up in other people's history? Where's your Library of Congresses? Where's your post office? In your land. See, that's where we look real dumb. Other people come and do whatever they want to in your land, and you pat them on the back. You tell your kids to pat them on the back. That's what you do. Come on, be honest. Be honest. If brothers and sisters in the South invented a car that took the energy from the sun to motor the car, the African American wouldn't fuck with it. Right or wrong? Now I'm gonna go get me an Elon Musk car. So those people who are that confused, the world won't miss them. See, we think when we do things in social media that we're the only ones watching. You're far from the truth. You know all people do is watch you. When you jump up and down on a sister in the street to take her tennis shoes, we're not just watching it. The rest of the world watches that. And they say, you see, these niggas don't even deserve to live. Well, that's how other people see you. You don't go to India and watch the Indian men do that because you don't go to India. This is what you show the world. So when they say go to the Georgia Guidestones and read that, because that's the Georgia Guidestones. That's what I'm saying here. When they want to go ahead and get rid of some people, all they got to do is show them you, show what you do, and the world will be like, here. All they got to do is show you the data from the abortions that you get. All they got to do is bring up the data of you filling up the jails. All they got to do is take the data from the police blotters and everything and pull up what you do. I mean, and this is a lot. Imagine the energy that goes on into that, what we put into that. So everybody knows that it's too many people. They can't house them. They don't have the money to house them because nobody should be housing you. You should be housing yourself. They have houses that you can build into the earth. We're so detached from the earth. We don't even look at it like that. I see grown men and their wives sleeping on the street every night. I don't know how concrete is comfortable. I don't, I don't think it's comfortable. I mean, there are some people who have those cardboard boxes, but you have some people out there sleeping on concrete. You have this big old world, and we can't think of nothing better than that. We can't think of a way to house ourselves better than that. You have roaches and ants that can house themselves better, but a full functioning person can't. That's what the African American has evolved into. So when they Georgia Guidestone, when it's time for them to read off of that script, you're gonna be the first person they look to because your energy has been sucked up. These people ride you like a pony. They run you like ponies, and you're cool with it. You tell them to ride harder, all so you can be accepted, all so you can wear their baseball cap, all so you can wear their shoes, all so you can go to their schools. Yeah, isn't it funny in that school thing? This is what gets me about that app. This is why I'm not into that sports thing. These coaches, you notice a lot of these coaches come from these countries that many of us have never even heard of. Mike Kreshke. Check out how these dudes are training your kids. There's a video out now on these coaches. I mean, slapping the shit out of brothers, kicking them in the ass, throwing the basketball at their head. When these brothers get out of school, they call that man daddy. How is that? Their mother, the dude's mother and father will come up and call that white man daddy. How come we don't support our own schools? How come we don't make the financial windfall from the trillions that you make these people around the world? That you make them. That's your energy going to them. This is energy transparent, y'all. We give it away for pennies. We give it away for free. That's the true definition of a slave. The people you had back in the day wasn't slaves. You're more slave now. They wouldn't even believe it. Your people weren't slaves. You had to be tricked into that. You had to be educated into that to be one and to be a good one too. If you were slaves, you wouldn't be on the money when slavery was supposedly going on. Who put slaves on the money? You tell me wherever in history they put slaves on the money. We never know. Simple. This is simple stuff that you can figure out for yourself. You're on the money in the 1860s. Sharp, tending to your resources, being shepherds of the earth. This is yours, but you just gave it away so you can get in and be with him. That's how you did it. And we're going to talk about that coming up real soon. We gave up everything so we could ride with them. Those of you, they're going to suffer. So the brother asked, how does energy transfer and pass down? Here's a simple explanation. And if you don't get this, I mean, there's no what? Because we'll play. I don't understand. Okay, so everybody's heard of Brown versus the Board of Education. Everybody's heard that, right? Cool. Brown versus the Board of Education is they were. If you talk to your grandmothers and grandfathers, they'll tell you that they went to schools where all their teachers looked like them, and all their teachers wasn't playing around. They had to teach their kids how to compete with the world, and they was giving their kids information that was blowing them away. Brown versus the Board of Education came by where we want to go to school with you. Now, again, another setup. Remember also too, and this is major, and we have to look at this shit. This is major. Remember in 1955, that's when the poor blacks started getting more into TV. They was watching it more. I'm not talking about the rich ones or the middle class. I'm talking about the poor blacks. That's when TV started becoming prevalent. So this Brown versus Education, Brown versus the Board of Education came in at that time. The Brown versus the Board of Education broke up those schools and started sending for them to train you. 2, 3 generations later, the author or one of the main culprits in the Brown versus Board of Education was a cat named with Supreme Court Justice Thurgood Marshall. This is how energy is passed down. What's Thurgood Marshall's son doing now? He's the CEO of the jails, of the prison system. You see how that shit works? You see how that shit works? This is what I'm saying, y'all. We can't be in this world dumb and proud because we are dumb. We have to understand what's happening to us, and we have to make sure we write that down. So many of you have already you see it because everything I said, nobody can say, man, you wrong about that. Jesus, you know, you see what's going on. Start writing that shit down because the people who are survive are going to have a roadmap to survive, to what to do. See, like I'm saying now, you better stop eating this shit that they serving you through a drive-through window. You don't know when it's fried and crunchy and all chopped up in the bites and all that. You don't know what it is. You don't know what it is. But walk around all proud with your chest out like you do. Brother, you sending the wrong message. As a person who carries forth energy, you sending the wrong message. What is all this stuff that we eating? How are these grocery stores full all the time? All these additives. You know it's no food. And we're going to send, and remember, all you are a representative of your great, great people. That's all you are a representative of your great, great people. And that's why we say find out who your folks are. Find out where they were from. Find out where they live. That ain't hard. We're going to explain how that genealogy is used to trick people. But what you need to know for now is where's the vicinity of their people who they were from? Because remember, they didn't have states all the time. That was to break up. That was to break up your people. The name of all these states, that's not how it goes. Who were your people? Nations of people. What nations? That tribe that's nothing. Animals are in tribes. See, they give you all these words to confuse and mix you up because you don't know, and you'll pick up anything that comes along. Who are your people? Where are they from? Did they live on the West Coast? Did they live on the East Coast? Florida? Those Seminoles people in Florida? Who were their people? Who they trade with? This is what you got to know about yourself. That's why I say find your folks. It's not hard. If you got grandparents now that's still alive, ask them. They'll tell you. You have to ask them. Prod them. Who your folks? Who your people? If your people are from Africa, go to Africa. Because from what I'm understanding, Chinese is doing dental work on Africa with no anesthesia. And now check this out. This is where we are. This is where we are. You have African people over here pretending that they're American Indians, and you following them. They have Africans here pretending to be you and getting you to follow them. And they have the same African voice, dialect, and all that, and tricking you into believing that they're you. And Negroes falling for it. So find out who your people are. Go through the mama, because the women have the babies. There's nothing against men, all that stuff. That's cool. But every man has a mama who he was rooted to. That means you're rooted to the earth. Who are you rooted to? We won't even find that out. We'll skip over all that to say we come from Africa. We'll turn our backs on our grandmamas to say to be proud to say that we come from Africa. Because you're making a complete ass of yourself. All of you. How dare you? Find out who your mama is, her mama, her mama's mama, her mama. Find out who these people are and where they come from. That's you. Matter of fact, here's just another idea. Where those people come from, you might find the remedies to a lot of everything that ails you. What medicines does those people make? What medicines did those people cultivate where they're from? What medicines did they cultivate in the hills of Tennessee? If your people are from there, what did they eat? Should you be eating that? What vegetables did they use to make them strong and to make them healthy that you probably haven't even heard of? Would that be beneficial to us? Would it? So listen, I'm gonna go ahead and close out now. I want to thank you guys for joining me tonight. Seriously, find out where your folks are. Find out where they're from. Find out what rivers and streams and lakes and stuff they live by. Those things are important. And when you find out where you are, you'll find your family, you'll find you, and you'll find out what you're supposed to be doing. Because this is nobody else's movie, it's yours. Peace out.